Okay, I'll be real honest with you. I prep pretty much every video that I put out. Like, I write out all my notes, I write a script and everything like that. Not the case with this video. So we're gonna see where this goes, alright? What's up, friends? My name is Jess. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the bookshelf tag. I was tagged by Katie from Katie Can't Read, and I'm feeling kind of energetic today, which is why I decided to do this tag because it kind of requires some movement. We're just gonna get right into it. Oh, we're not. Before we get right into it, I do want to note my bookshelves aren't in the best state they've ever been in because I'm in the middle of unhauling books, so now there are big chunks just missing in the corners. Try not to take note of that. So the first question in the tag is, how many bookshelves do you have? I have these two full-sized bookshelves. I think they're the Billy bookshelves from IKEA. Don't ask me questions about it. And then I have one half-sized bookshelf behind the camera. Question number two is, how many books are on your bookshelves, or how many books do you think you have? This is the only question where I tried to prepare before this video, and I tried counting all of the books that I have, and I got tired around number 459. So let's just say I have about 500 books. I've collected a lot of books over my life, and then I have books that have been passed down to me from my siblings, and some books that belong to my parents, and they just decided to put it on my shelves and then they never got it back. So I have a lot of books. Question number three is, how do you organize your books? So as you can tell behind me, my main organization is by color, but it's actually a bit more complicated than that. So these two shelves back here have all of the books that I have read. The half-size shelf, which is behind the camera, has all of the books that I haven't read, and then reference books. So books that are just bigger and too awkward to pile onto these shelves, and they're also not like narrative stories or anything like that. They end up on the shelf behind the camera. So that shelf is all unread books, reference books, things like that. These two shelves, the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shelves on each one are arranged by color going that way, and then the bottom two shelves on both of them are like middle grade children's books. They're the books that I remember enjoying when I was a child. So it's kind of a weird system because I organize by read versus unread, and then majority of my books versus my childhood books, and then by color. It makes sense to me. Question number four is, what is the oldest book on your bookshelf? I don't know if this means like the oldest book in terms of how long I've owned it, or the oldest book in terms of when the story was published. We're gonna go with both. The oldest book in terms of how long I've owned it is probably one of my Goosebump books, because these books were actually bought for my older siblings when they were kids, and then they passed them down to me. So I have a whole stack of these, and they're all pretty old. I'm imagining it's one of these. In terms of publication, I have this copy of Bullfinch's Mythology, probably old. I have no idea. I'm gonna go with it though because it looks pretty old. I also have a copy of the Bible, so that's pretty old. Question number five is the newest book on my bookshelf, and this is an easy question for me to answer because the newest book in terms of publication date and in terms of how long I've owned it is the same thing. And that book is Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. I literally just bought this book last week, maybe? I couldn't help it. I was going grocery shopping in Target and we passed by the book aisle, and what is the longest book on your bookshelf? Again, pretty easy to answer. I think it has to be one of my Stephen King books. So either it's Under the Dome, which is thick, or this one, which is November 22nd, 1963. But you know what? Maybe it's one of the Game of Thrones books. It's one of those. I'm really not gonna check because they're all really thick and kind of close together in terms of page numbers. You know what? I'll check. I'll check these two. I checked between the two Stephen King books just to be somewhat fair. Under the Dome has 1,072, so it's longer than the other one by 200 pages about. You know, answering this question is kind of wrecking my shelves a little bit. Okay, question number seven is, what is the shortest book on your bookshelf? Also easy to answer. I'm fairly certain that the shortest book on my bookshelf is this poetry collection called Al Sur de mi Garganta. So I don't really have a lot of poetry, so I think this is the only poetry collection I have, which makes it easily the shortest book on my shelves. Let me check how many pages It is, okay, 65 pages. Question number 8 is, what is the predominant genre on your bookshelf? I have no idea. I can't even confidently say what the predominant age group on my shelves is because I want to say that it's YA, but I also have a lot of adult books here. In terms of genre, it either has to be fantasy or crime fiction. I'm leaning towards fantasy, but I don't know. It's a pretty even mix of those two with a bunch of other genres thrown in. Question number 9 is, have you done a bookshelf tour? I have not, but I want to at some point. It's not going to happen anytime soon because I want to finish all of the purging my shelves videos and kind of get my shelves clear of all the things that I don't want anymore so then I can do a tour. So eventually I will, but I haven't yet. Question number 10 says to go on a random number generator and talk about the book that corresponds with that number. I got number 78. No, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna try again, and I got the number 3, which is easier. Okay, and the third book is The Face on the Milk Carton by Carolyn B. Cooney. This is basically a book about this girl. She's a teenager and she happens to be drinking a carton of milk. This is back in the era when cartons of milk had pictures of missing children, and she happens to notice that the picture of the missing child on the milk carton is a picture of her as a child. So it's kind of her dealing with that mystery and trying to figure out, what does that mean? Was she kidnapped? Did her parents kidnap her? This was a book that I read back when I was in middle school, maybe around that age, and I remember really loving it. It's an entire series and I didn't know that for the longest time, and I tried reading the other books in the series later on in life and I just wasn't about it. So I think I unhauled the later book in the series that I got, but I didn't want to get rid of this one because I remember really loving it, and it's, you know, it's nostalgia. I'll keep it for that reason. Question number 11 is, do you have fan merch or any other decorations on your bookshelf? In terms of fan merch, not really, but I do have a lot of stuff on my bookshelves. On top of my bookcase, I have a bunch of stuff, and on the bookshelves back there, I also have a bunch of stuff. But question number 12 is actually show us your bookshelf. So I'm gonna switch over to my phone camera and show you all of the stuff that I have. So excuse any difference in quality in terms of video or audio. I don't know how it will work out. Okay, starting at the top left of my bookcase, this is where all of my trinkets are. This is a little music box that was an anniversary gift from my dad to my mom, but it ended up with me. Yeah. That music box ended up with me because my mom would play it all the time so that I could fall asleep as a kid, and then it's just too nostalgic for me to ever get rid of it. These little white rose sort of decorations were gifts from one of my best friend's grandmother. I actually have 2 of them. One is down there. She just kind of adopted me as a granddaughter and she gave me these for whatever reason, I don't know. Back there is a fan that has a wood burning picture of Cuba, the island, kind of the scenery. I did actually get that when I visited my family in Cuba, and I also got this little box in Cuba. I don't know what's in this box. I think it's pins and miscellaneous things. This is a souvenir from when my brother and his wife went to go visit her family in Hawaii. This is a little card holder from when a friend went to go visit Australia. In the front here, I have a little black mask that I wore for a performance that I did during college. Then I have this globe. This was a gift from my grandmother. That is another fan in the back. That was a gift from my boyfriend's mom. This is an actual clock that I got when I visited Prague in the Czech Republic. It's a functioning clock, but it needs a new battery, I think, which is why it's not doing its job. This is a piggy bank. Yeah, I got it in the Van Gogh Museum when I went to Amsterdam. It's honestly one of my favorite souvenirs that I have because I think it's just so cute. And now we're gonna get a look at my shelves. We're gonna start in the red section and do a quick pan over. And then at the end of my colored books, I have kind of comics, manga, some books that are just too big, and then that little book there that just happened to fit. And then this down here is my children's section, so we have Goosebumps, Archie comics, things like that. If I ever do a bookshelf tour, I promise I'll do a better job than I'm doing right now. Okay, and over here is the little bookshelf that is pretty much never seen. This is my light. On the top of the bookcase, I have a book that was a gift from a friend, so I like to display it. A couple of books that I just are on my bucket list and I just want to finish it, so I keep it there so I have to look at it all the time. And then these are some unread books. All of these books are books that I'm going to read in vlog style videos at some point, so you can look forward to that. This is a cute little plushie of Bastet, which was a gift from my boyfriend. This mug is full of different bookmarks and stuff like that. A little reed thing, some fake flowers. And then these two masks are masks that I got while I was in Cuba from some local artisans. And then these are like the reference books and stuff. You have my high school books, so I'm probably gonna cover that. And then over here I have like a random Christmas cookie tin because I don't know, I liked it and I wanted to use it for something, but I never did. And then over here is a whole stack of books that are for unhauling, but I'm not going to show you that because I'm going to have a whole unhaul video later. Alright, I hope you enjoyed that pan over that I most certainly have already done. I'm not just cutting ahead or anything. The last question is just tag someone. Now I'm trying to remember who would have bookshelves that they can do this tag with, because I know a lot of people are in college, so they're not with their bookshelves. I'm gonna tag Stephanie from Stephanie Bookish. Delphi from the Oracle of Delphi has shelves as well. And then Couple from A Couple Books. Alright, that was a really quick tag. I hope y'all enjoyed learning a little bit about my bookshelves. I hope y'all enjoyed me ripping books out of spots and just wrecking all of this. That's it for this video. If you're interested in seeing more bookish content from me, make sure to subscribe. My goal is to put out a video every single week, so there will definitely be more content coming out. In the meantime, I will see you in the next one.